All right. Good evening, good morning, good night, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Tyrone Brown Jr., and this is another episode of The Life Show. Wherever you are tuning in from, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Twitter, also whether it be YouTube. Even guess what? You got the website. So guess what? We just want to welcome you. Also to everyone that is listening, whatever radio station that you are tuning in from, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm just excited to be with you today because I have my little brother, and you guys are going to be privy to this powerful interview today. And so I had to bring him in. Of course, it's pre-recorded, but still, we getting it in. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to the Life Show platform none other than my little brother, Corey Barrett. What's up, man?
What's going on, brother Ty,
You
man?
good, man?
I'm blessed, man.
Good, man. Good. Well, I'm very happy to have you here tonight. To this morning, whatever time zone we at. But we just want to, get this interview in to talk about your life, where it started, so that you can get your testimony out and then be able to display it to the world, where you come from, how you come from, and then where you are now. So we want to start at the nitty gritty. First off, where you come from, man? Where you born and raised at?
Man, born and raised Chicago, South Side, 79th Street, 79th and Ashland, 80th Justine.
Okay.
All around there with my grandparents.
Okay. Good, man. And then, how was you raised up? Were you raised in a really good home, a good environment? How did that go?
Well, my grandparents raised me, my grandmother and my grandfather. And I was in a fairly decent upbringing. My grandparents taught me at an early age about respect, morals. Of course, back then in the 80s, it was a whole different ball game. It was, the neighborhoods was more unified.
Yeah, family oriented.
So it was like growing up, if you did something wrong, you got a whooping from your neighbor, and then they took you to your parents, and then you got a whooping, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in that era.
Good, man. So you got a lot of whoopings. No, I'm just messing with you. No, but, and then, I heard you say, that you were raised by your grandparents. Is there a reason why you were raised by your grandparents?
Yes. My mother, she was on drugs.
Okay.
And so she gave me to her mother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Which was my grandmother.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And so I was raising with them. My grandmother died in around 91.
Okay.
So my grandfather went through the legal processes to legally adopt me.
Got it.
So I could call him my dad, but I was so used to saying, "Hey, Grandpa," you know what I'm saying? So then my grandfather had took me in, and so I was under his care for up until I would say I graduated. I went to Timothy Lutheran High School. Timothy Lutheran Grammar School on 83rd and Paulina. I graduated from there.
Got it.
Had all A's and B's in grammar school.
Okay.
I had my little stints of trouble as far as my mouth, but who didn't?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then back then you had to take tests to get into certain high schools.
Got it.
So I went to Lindblom Technical High School, and you know what I'm saying, back then, that was like one of the top schools.
Right.
So I took my entrance exam. I passed it with flying colors.
Okay.
And I entered high school.
Got it. And so You're living with your grandfather. Your grandmother is gone, and now you're in high school. How does that process go now that you're in high school and your grandmother is gone? Now you're living with your grandfather. How does that process go from that point of your life?
Well, losing my grandmother, it was rough. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was more of the stern one.
Got it.
My grandfather, if you made him mad, he'd show it, but he was pretty much laid back, cool. Yeah. Like, he'll let me get away. Like, so, and it was crazy because, like, growing up, my grandmother would always whoop me.
Yeah.
And I used to always run to my grandfather, like, because he had saved me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so after I graduated 8th grade, I would say that's when the 360 in my life changed.
Yeah.
I grew up in the church.
Okay.
At an early age, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I had a spiritual encounter with the devil.
Okay.
And it was crazy because, like, when I was a kid, and I used to, like, wake up in the middle of the night, and this might sound crazy to you, but this was all facts.
Right.
I used to see spirits, like, walking in my, like walking, past in the, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I used to be scared because I'm like, man, what is this?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I wasn't one of these kids where I was taking all type of different medications and whatnot. So no, like, but this one particular time, my grandmother's kids had came over to the house. And so it was my mother and 3 of my uncles.
Okay.
I had an Uncle Rocky. He stayed in Washington, and my Uncle Mark and Uncle Ralph.
Okay.
So everybody came over to visit my grandmother and my grandfather and whatnot. So it's nighttime. I'm sleeping in my bed. So as I'm sleeping in my bed, I always laid on my stomach.
Okay.
So as I'm asleep, something grabbed my legs and said, "I got you."
Wow.
Pulled me down. Now, this was just like how Paranormal Activity movie displays. Yeah. It was just like that.
Wow.
So pulled me down. So my head was like, I always slept on top of my pillow.
Yeah.
So when he pulled me down, woman said, "I got you." So now my head is no longer on the pillow. My legs is raised up in the air.
Yeah.
So I'm scared. I'm nervous. So I'm looking out the peripheral of my left eye, and I'm looking back like this. I'm thinking it's one of my uncles playing.
Okay.
So as I look back, I see my legs in the air. Nobody's behind me.
Wow.
So now, wait. Okay, hold on. I forgot a key part.
Okay.
My grandparents were sitting at the kitchen table, drinking coffee, reading the newspaper, talking about God. My big mouth, little shorty, "Grandma, ain't no such thing as God. Grandma, ain't no such thing as God."
Wow.
My grandmother checked me in the door. "Corey, I don't ever want to hear you say that again, or you're going to get your butt whooped." Yeah. Yes, there is a such thing as God. God is real. I walked away, smacking my lips like,
Right.
So then, you know what I'm saying? This incident happened at night.
Yeah.
So as my legs is in the air, I don't know what made me say this. I don't know where this came from. I just started saying, "Dear Lord, please help me," over and over. "Dear Lord, please help me. Dear Lord, please help me. Yeah. Dear Lord, please help me." My legs slowly raised down on the bed, and I heard, you know how movies depict, you know what I'm saying, like the devil or like a demon's laughter. It was a real heavy, hard, loud laughter in the room. And it was, and then it started fading away. I didn't move. I laid in that bed and I finally went to sleep. When the first crack of sunlight came through my room window, I jumped up. My grandmother was coming out the bathroom and she was getting ready to come in to come and wake me up for school. I knocked my grandmother down because I was trying to run to, you know what I'm saying, their room, and I didn't see my grandmother. So I ran into her, knocked her down. My grandmother was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I told my grandmother about what had happened the night before. My grandmother said, "You had a spiritual encounter with the devil." She said, "I bet you won't say there ain't no such thing as God no more." And the following Sunday, she took me to church and I got baptized.
Wow. And so, you know, even with that that encounter, did that change your outlook as far as what the world was?
Yes, it brought realization on a spiritual level.
Okay.
To, hey, there is a such thing as God, and there is demons, and there is the devil. You know what I'm saying? So that was like at an early age, it was like, okay, you know, I need to keep my faith in God.
Yeah.
You know, and I was already grounded in religion throughout grammar school. You know what I'm saying? Going to church every Sunday. Then, you know, we had little sessions, you know, in our school, because I went to a Lutheran grammar school.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so that just, you know what I'm saying, opened my eyes up to a lot of things spiritually.
Okay.
You know, and was like, okay, so if anybody else is trying to say God ain't real or this, nah, you lying, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Life Show. My name is Tyrone Brown Jr., and I'm here with my little brother, Corey Barrett, and we're talking about his life and spotlighting his testimony about where he came from and where he is currently. And so as we get through this interview, you're going to be able to hear a lot of the experiences that he had and be able to understand that your life can change as well. And so getting back into this testimony here, I want you to start where your grandmother passed, and then you know, your grandfather, and then start from there.
Okay. Well, like I said, my grandmother passed in 91.
Okay.
So then I graduated 8th grade in 95. The summer of 95 was the pivotal point. That was the 360 that turned my life around. Now, growing up, you know, I seen drive-bys, I seen shooting, I seen, you know what I'm saying, guys on the corner selling drugs. That was, and it was crazy because as I started getting older, and my grandfather would let me walk home, I used to have to take certain routes to get home because the guys was gangbanging and they was shooting and fighting. You know what I'm saying? So during the summer of 95, I had a friend of mine that stayed across the street from me. So I grew up in the GD neighborhood.
Okay.
So right down the street was Foster Park. That was where the Moles was at. So it was like 81st and 82nd was like the cutoff line.
Got it.
So he moved down towards 82nd Street, and me and him was still cool. So I was hanging with a couple of the guys, you know what I'm saying, older guys that was GD. I had a cousin that, you know, I started running with him. So I just so happened to be walking with these guys down 79th Street, and a car full of stones pulled up. Now, I used to go to Foster Park and hoop with my, you know what I'm saying, like a couple of my partners on my block and their fathers. You know, we would all go to Foster Park and play basketball.
Got it.
So one of the guys that was in the back seat, I heard him say, "Hey, he be at the park. He be at the park." Now, I'm not really knowing who I'm walking. I'm knowing that these guys is affiliated, but I'm not knowing how deep they were in it. So dude just started dropping the rakes at me, like, and just got the cussing at me. So
when you say dropping the rakes, meaning gang signs.
Yeah.
Throwing up gang signs.
Yeah, he was dropping the forks at me.
Okay.
So I'm like, whoa. So then everybody around me started dropping their gang. You know what I'm saying? To him. So I'm sitting back like, I'm thinking real quick, dang, dude saw me. I can't go to the park no more.
Right.
It's over with.
Yeah.
So I just started gang banging right then and there.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And then from there, it was a wrap. Like, I got into the streets. I got to learn about the literature and, doing little stuff that I had to do, you know what I'm saying, to show my worth, and got to selling drugs. And so going into my freshman year of high school, it was, hey, I'm GD. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I went through that little stage. Yeah. Fighting, getting suspended. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ditching class, going to go get high, come back for lunch. You know what I'm saying? Some of everybody, you know what I'm saying? Right. Did their little thing in high school, but, so that was my life. And then from that day forth, it was like I was stuck in my area. Yeah. Like I couldn't go in other areas because of my affiliation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was certain bus routes, you know what I'm saying, that you couldn't go. Take. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, back then you know what I'm saying, like in the mid-90s, if you went on certain bus,
it'll cross territory.
Yeah, and you'll go into a territory where it'd be 20, 30 guys standing on the corner. Yeah. And back then, guys will open the back door to the bus and to literally hop on. To look in. Ain't no looking in. They getting on the bus. Oh, man. So now, if you in the wrong gang and you on that bus and you got your hat smacked off, oh, it's over with for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You'll get whooped or half killed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and we did that on 79th. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that was the era, you know what I'm saying, that we had. Okay. And it was pretty hectic, but it was compared to the generation now. Yeah. I don't care what gang you was in, it was more unity. The blocks, whatever gangs, it was more unified. It wasn't nobody. I mean, you had some innocent people getting shot here and there, but it wasn't babies getting killed. It wasn't
renegades.
It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like older people getting hurt. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we protected women and kids. You know, if some guys rolled down the block and they saw you with your mother, your brother, or your little sister or whatever, they wouldn't get at you. Yeah. Because that was the code. Now he with his people. Now we gonna catch him later. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it was like that. So, or if guys wanted to ride up and do a drive-by and it's a whole bunch of kids on the block, guys wouldn't shoot. Right. You know what I'm saying? They'd just ride past. And you know what I'm saying? It just look like, okay.
You got away this time.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was a whole different era then. And, you know, it wasn't a lot of garbage and mess going on inside the blocks. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, you could come outside and hang out all day, all night. Certain areas, when it started getting dark, and if it was a war going on between another faction, you know what I'm saying, then you knew, okay, it's about that time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All right, everybody be ready, eyes alert, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? So it was just so much different then. Yeah. And it was, you know what I'm saying, like, even though, you know what I'm saying, like, we did a lot of crazy stuff back then, it was still safer than it is now. Sure. You know what I'm saying? These young guys now in this generation, they didn't have older leaders that would enforce laws and policies.
That would check them.
You know what I'm saying? And if you broke certain laws and policies back in the day,
you would get checked.
No, you'd get beat up.
Yeah, you get checked.
Like, depending on the severity of the law you broke, they give you, you know what I'm saying, a match or 2 matches or 3 matches or whatever. And they'll put you in what's called the full Nelson.
Yeah.
Light that match and beat your body up.
Yeah.
Until that match went out.
Yeah.
Or if you did something really, really messed up, you got a whole book of matches.
Oh, man.
And they'll light their whole book and beat your body up, and you couldn't do nothing. Like, you had to shake up and, I apologize, whatever.
Yeah.
Look, man, don't do that no more. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
You had to go to school.
Right.
It wasn't no ditching school, going to go hang out on the block and serve. You had to come and show your report card to, you know what I'm saying, to a brother like, hey, look, man, this is my report card. This is what I'm doing. If you got caught during school hours on the block, you got beat up.
Yeah.
Like, and it was crazy because I seen that happen so many times. Like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, we might, you know what I'm saying, ditch school for a little minute, but then you hear a certain car pulling up. You already knew who it was, so now you had it. Like, wait a minute, oh, that's dude. Okay, okay, he just rolled past.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so now we trying to hurry up and run to the bus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm finna go to school, man. I ain't finna get beat up today, man. You know what I'm saying? So it was, and so it was that, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, you had to go to school.
Yeah.
You couldn't be on the block doing certain, you know what I'm saying, doing school hours. You know what I'm saying? So you had, it was different. Like, you had older guys that was in play. And that's what kept the blocks together, you know what I'm saying, without all the extra mess.
I see. Now, you just talked about school and, and that you were getting ready to transition into high school. And that's when you got into, the gang affiliation and gangs and stuff like that. So now, were you able to finish school?
I got kicked out of Limballoon the end of my sophomore year.
Okay.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was crying in the disciplinarian office with my grandfather. I was salty because I wanted to stay.
Yeah.
I wanted to stay. I wanted to graduate. But I was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was getting suspended left and right for fighting. You know what I'm saying? And my freshman and sophomore year was like, I had to prove myself.
Sure.
I more so had to prove myself my freshman year.
Yeah.
Sophomore year was kind of like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
You're one of the guys.
Yeah. So it was like, I ain't really had to do too much proving. Guys already knew who I was, you know what I'm saying? And, who I was with. We had fun though, but after I got kicked out my sophomore year, my grandfather had got real sick and he had went to the hospital. So as he went to the hospital, his daughter, my auntie, talked with the neighbor across the street, my guy Isaac. So I went and stayed across the street with him and his mother and father for a little while until my grandfather came home. And then when my grandfather had got back, I had went back across the street, staying with him. And of course, I was still in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was the summertime. My grandfather's daughter's husband.
Okay.
Well, at the time, that was her fiance.
Okay.
He came over to stay and help, you know what I'm saying, look after my grandfather.
Okay.
And so then I ended up getting shot at nighttime or whatever. A guy yelled my name out and I was on my porch. I actually thought it was somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Because it was somebody else that had walked past my house that had the exact same clothes on as my guy. So when I go to my port, I go outside and I tell him, because I had just heard gunshots. So I go outside and I tell him, like, hey, bro, man, Joe, they just got through shooting, Joe, go in the crib. And the other dude said my name. a couple times. So by that time, I'm standing in front of my house. These guys is literally 2 houses down. So as he said my name, I'm like, yo, who is that?
I don't recognize that voice.
And so the dude that had the gun, he say, don't worry about it. Boom, 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 boom. So like the first 2 to 3 shots, I'm standing right there. I'm shocked, like, so, and I'm trying to process this, like, is this my guy? With somebody shooting at me?
Right.
So I ain't get hit. I got low and I shook it through the back of my crib, you know what I'm saying, to the gangway around the back, and I had the back door open. And so then when I sat back and I told my cousin fiance, you know what I'm saying, what had happened, of course, he went and told my auntie. So my auntie felt like, okay, I don't know what he out here doing in the streets.
Yep.
But I got to protect my father. He got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what happened, my grandfather ended up going back in the hospital. And so this time, his daughter went to the courts and was, my father is too old to take care of him, da 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 da. So, but what she did, she lied. She went to my grandfather in the hospital and said, hey, Daddy, I just need your signature for these legal papers. She never told my grandfather
what
that
it was
these
for.
Was papers to release guardianship of me.
Got it.
So she kept on pressing him about it. He got tired of hearing it.
Right.
So he just went and signed it.
Yeah.
So after he came to and he's back at home, I'm already in DCFS. You know what I'm saying? I'm in group homes now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
How old are you at this time?
I was 97. I just turned 16.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm going through different group homes. I started off at the Maryville group home on 810 West Montrose.
Okay.
I went there for a little while. Then from there, they stuck me in a group home in the middle of Motown.
Wow.
So if anybody knows Chicago and anybody knows about Motown, that's one of the biggest stone sets.
Right.
So here it is. I'm 16 years old. I'm at Daniel J. Nellum on 51st and Laughlin. I'm like, man, y'all got me in the heart of Motown. Like, y'all crazy. So I'm in a group home. So, of course, it's a couple different, you know what I'm saying, people in there. You had some GDs, some BDs. You had some Stones up in there, whatever. So now I'm in a group home. So now the group home is taking us out on little outings here and there.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And so one of the craziest moments that I had at that group home, I would say it was a Sinbad concert at Washington Park.
Okay.
In the summer of '97. And the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus that came there. So we go there. We go have our little fun. You know, I got my long hair, my braids, you know what I'm saying? So the group home had left me there.
Oh, wow.
I told them, I said, look, because they was calling us. They said, okay, man, you know, it's about time to go. I said, look, I just got to use the bathroom real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'll be right back. So I had to walk a small little distance to the bathroom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I come out the bathroom, the van pulled off. They gone.
Oh.
So now, if anybody know about Washington Park back in the day, it was GDs around there. But then around nighttime is when you know, some of the moles would come up there and hang out. So I run into like 15, 20 moles. I got long braids. I got red and black beads. I can't tell these guys I ain't in no gang. I can't lie and say I'm a neutron. They gonna look like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to play it off like I was a stone.
Right.
just so I could
get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I ended up kicking it with these brothers for like an hour and a half. We drinking, smoking, and I had to play it off like I was a stone. Then they dropped me off on like 51st, a little, I say like 51st and Morgan. And so I'm walking down 51st. I get to 51st and Racine. It's like 20 more guys standing out here. I had to shake up with all these guys like I'm a stone just so I could get safe. And I get to the group home. Then I get to the group home, everything cool. So one day I get out of school and some of the brothers was at our window talking with somebody. And I guess dude was asking like, yeah, man, what is he? Yeah, what is he? So dude was like, oh, he GD. Hey, look, what? I thought he was one of the...
Oh, man.
These guys tried to break in the group home and get me. It was a staff member. I never forget. He was big and swole. He was a cool dude, but he used to be GD back in the day.
Right.
But, so he told me, he said, man, these guys got to get through me if they plan on getting to you.
Yeah.
They already had broke the front, like the front glass to the doors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to run in. And then they was around the back. You know what I'm saying? But the back had these big thick chains on it, you know what I'm saying, with the padlock. They was really trying to get in and get me.
Yeah.
I made a plan that night to run away. So I told the guys in the group home, I said, man, somebody snitched on me and told these brothers I'm GD. I had to walk past these guys when the van left me at the park, and I had to walk past and play like I was a stone. So that's why these guys trying to get me. I say, look, I'm finna pack my stuff up, bro. I say, I need y'all to create a small diversion, slam y'all doors, you know what I'm saying, make the staff come. I'm finna pack my stuff up in the morning. I'm gonna act like I'm going to school, bro. I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't stay here, bro. These guys gonna kill me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went on run. When I went on run, I got shot. So when I got shot, they took me to the hospital. And they found out I was a ward of the state. So they called my case manager. So then my case manager, of course, my grandfather found out, and everybody in my family had found out. So they came to visit me, make sure I was okay, whatnot, and then they shipped me off to another group home. I went to Maryville Farm Campus. This was in a little town called Durant, Illinois.
Okay.
It was about 20 minutes outside of Rockford.
Got it.
So they brought me there. I didn't have no behavior problems, so they let me go to a real high school. Now they had a school, you know what I'm saying, that was on campus.
Yep.
But that was for the kids that couldn't act right.
Yep.
So since I played my part right in there, you know what I'm saying, and I was just chill, they let me go to the actual high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I see.
So I went to Durant High School, and their school system and their credit system was way different than Chicago. I think out there, you got 8 credits a semester.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a total of 32 credits a school year.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I stayed there from 97 to, when did I come up out of, I wanted to be closer to Chicago. I didn't want to be that far.
Okay.
So I did everything correctly. I was going to therapy sessions, talking with my case managers there and the staff. And so they found another group home that was in Maywood.
Got it.
And
closer to Chicago.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So Maywood, that's west suburbs.
Right.
So that's like, I ain't gonna say it's the west side, but it's west suburbs. So that was actually in Chicago.
Yep.
But so I was still maybe, driving, it don't take nothing but probably like 45 minutes from the south side to get out there.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe an hour at the most. So they took me there to Maywood, and then I went to Proviso East High School.
Okay.
And so then after that, I stayed there. I ended up getting kicked out of Proviso East. I was supposed to graduate in 99.
Wow.
And I ended up getting kicked out of Proviso East High School. So then after that, I found my way back out to hustling. I ended up, I went back, I ran away from the group home in Maywood and went to stay back with my grandfather because I had my car.
Okay.
And so the group home wouldn't let me have my car.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So a couple of my partners had got killed in our area. We had 2 double homicides in 99. One was on 80th and Laughlin. The other one was down the street on 79th and Laughlin.
Okay.
Shamika and Eric had got killed on 80th and Laughlin, and I grew up with them all my life. So that was a hurter. So I came and I went to the funeral and stuff. And then after that, in like June, the end of June, July, Mark and Dashawn had got killed on 79th and Laughlin. And so there was some more people that I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so then I ended up running away from the group home, came back out south, staying with my grandfather. And then it was some things that had transpired to where my grandfather had gotten hurt, and it wasn't because of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But because I refused to snitch and tell my auntie, you know what I'm saying,
what happened
going on. You know what I'm saying? Because now, you know, true enough, this is my grandfather, but then again, here it is. I'm in the streets.
Yep.
So if I sit back and I snitch, then
you're gonna get got.
So I didn't say nothing. So as a result of that, when my grandfather had passed away, he left everything in the will.
Right.
For me, the house, money from his insurance, the cars. His daughter, my auntie, she took everything.
Wow.
So she lied and told me that my grandfather didn't leave me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at her, and I really wanted to cuss her out and say a whole lot.
Right.
But out of respect that this is my grandfather's daughter, I just, okay. You know what I'm saying? All right. I see how this going to play.
Right.
Out. So now I'm back in the city, and so I'm basically homeless. I ain't got nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? So
what you said, now you homeless, okay? Now you homeless. Your grandfather has passed away. Now what do you do? Where are you staying at?
I was in my old neighborhood around 79th. You know, that was the safest place for me. I mean, for a few years, I was out in Maywood, and, you know, I was hustling, doing my thing out there. And then some situations that happened, and I just felt like, hey, you know, I need to go back out south.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So then that's when I came back out south. And so then I went back to my old neighborhood. And so what I would always do, I would always end up finding a job. You know what I'm saying? I would go, you know what I'm saying? Like back then, I could spend $5 for a one-day fun pass, and I could ride the bus all day.
Yeah.
So I would hustle up some money, and I go buy me a one-day fun pass, and I go ride around, and I start going to different McDonald's jobs. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
Filling out applications. You know what I'm saying? Talking to people. Hey, look, are you all hiring?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I got McDonald's experience. Look, da 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 da. I would always, but I didn't have a phone, so I would give them one of my guys' numbers. So I'd be on the block hustling, and one of my guys would pull up hey, Joe, this McDonald's just called, Joe. They say you got an interview
Yeah,
tomorrow. Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So now I just hustle me up a little money. I stay out hustling all day. You know what I'm saying? If I needed some new shoes or some clothes, a couple, you know what I'm saying, brand new white T-shirts, I go buy that.
Yep.
I go get my hair cut. I had braids then, so I just go pay somebody, you know what I'm saying, freshly braid me up.
Yep.
And I go to the interview looking presentable, you know what I'm saying,
Okay.
give me a little liner. Boom, now I got the job. So now I'm working. So then my first check that I got, I just invested in my hustle.
Right.
You know, and I just stayed on the street. I used to sleep in hallways on the block.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like certain buildings, you know what I'm saying, that we used to be in and out of. I go in the back, you know, on the back stairs, go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Go find a spot to go wash up.
Yeah.
Now I go hit the block.
Wow. And then you did all of this in Chicago. How do you wind up in Indiana?
Man, I was over east on 79th in Cottage Grove. And so I had a cousin that I moved in with. I had caught a case for some drugs, and I was trying to get house arrest. So
okay.
I went there on house arrest, and so then I'm over east, so now I'm getting familiar with the east side.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? So I was on 75th, so of course 79th right down the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back down to 79th. I knew a couple partners around there, a couple guys I was in and out the county with, you know what I'm saying, in the joint with, whatever I seen them. Oh, y'all over here? Oh, okay. Laid my lick down over there, got the hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as I'm around there hustling, I was at the aid office on 80th and Cottage Grove, and then I was on the next block on Maryland. So I see this, she looked mixed. She was like white and Mexican. She had a nice little pretty face, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I used to holler at all the females around there. So, like, you know, that was my thing, because the police wouldn't bother me, because I'm always in a female face. I never stood on corners with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Or like if I seen you know what I'm saying, that the dicks was too hot and they always stopping on all these corners, I'm always in the female face.
Right. And so that was the diversion.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd be walking right past and I'd be like, yeah, so what's up? So I ended up seeing my baby mama.
Right.
Well, she wasn't my baby mama then, but she became my baby mama.
Okay.
I seen her. So I get to rapping with her. So she was telling me her little situation. You know what I'm saying? So she like, yeah, I brought my baby daddy up here so he could fill out for food stamps, da-da-da-da-da. Now we ain't together. Yeah, I stay in Gary, Indiana. Oh, you in Gary?
Yeah.
Oh. So I was staying with a female at the time, but this female I was staying with, she used to do her. So, which I didn't care, you know what I'm saying? Because that was the agreement that we made. Right. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up seeing me with the white girl. So she wasn't big, but she had a little, you know, she had a little pudge on her, you know what I'm saying, a little stomach. So she ended up texting my phone. I was saying, she want to kick it with fat, ooh, yeah, you come get your stuff. Whole time I already been out to Gary, Indiana a couple times back and forth. I used to have her drop me off on 79th and come back and pick me up at night.
Right.
So, oh yeah, you want to put me out? Oh, okay, cool. I didn't already got a lot of my gear up out your crib anyway. So I ain't care.
Right.
Out to Gary I go.
Wow. And then you came to Gary. Then you set up shop in Gary, to live your life and try to get, back straight the best way you could. Yeah. I mean, so what was that transition like? Was it quick, or how did it happen?
You mean from Chicago to Gary? Yeah. Well, I mean, the move was quick because me and my baby mama, you know what I'm saying, we had already made, you know what I'm saying, a pact that, hey, okay, look, you know, this is going to be a relationship. Woo, woo.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And so I had a couple other different avenues, you know what I'm saying, to go. And so, and then plus I was on parole too.
Got it.
So she had told me, look, I don't mind being with you, but just don't stay with me until you get off parole and then bounce. You know what I'm saying? So I was supposed to go move to Iowa with another female, but she had already admitted that, you know, she had sex with another dude and this and that. So if me and you talking long distance, and she used to come from Iowa and come see me, you know what I'm saying? So if we had already made this thing where we talking long distance and you coming to visit me, now you expect me to come down here to Iowa and be miles and miles away where I ain't got no help, no family, no nothing, and you then already slept with somebody else.
Right.
So if I come down there to Iowa, what if dude ain't trying to let go?
Yeah.
Now me and dude get into it. Either I get hurt or he get hurt.
Right.
Now I'm in Iowa. Anything can happen. So I chose, I'm not going to take that route.
I'm going to stay here.
I'm going to stay here.
Good.
So I stayed in Gary, and me and her lasted for 5.5 years. Okay. She had my daughter. Me and her got together in 2007. She had my daughter in 2010. Of October 8th, 2010. We lasted about another year and a half up until about the end of the summer of 2012.
Okay.
And she left me she went back to her ex, you know, you know what I'm saying? Me and her ain't work out. So, you know, we just kept it cordial.
Right.
So in the process, now here's another testimony. In the process of me and her splitting up, I initiated the text fight, whatever. I text her ex dude, and hey, look, I don't care about you sleeping with my baby mama, but you ain't finna do it in the house where I still stay at and pay bills at.
Yeah.
So he woofing, oh, I stay strapped up. Next time I see you on site, it's on. Oh. What? Oh, okay, this what you on? And you don't even know that I stay with a gun on me? Okay, bet. So couple times, my baby mama riding past with dude looking, she smirking, smiling. I had that little mountain bike. You remember I used to ride the little mountain bike. So I used to chase the car all the way back, you know what I'm saying? Call dude out. Dude ain't want to move. He just want to stand there in the driveway woofing. So this one particular night, I called myself trying to get dude. So I went over there, and I was still cool with all the neighbors on the block and everything. Okay. So I was next door talking to the neighbors, and I see my baby mama car was already in the driveway. So I see another cop pull up. So I ain't know. So it was a female driving. Then I see my baby mama get out. Then I see some dude get out. Now I got my hand on my piece, but dude, he ain't on no tough stuff. He got his head down, carrying the bag, walking to the back.
Right.
And I'm looking like, man, is this dude? So I just paused, like, I just waited. Dude ain't looked my way, not one bit. He just went ahead and went on in the back of the crib. Then that's when it dawned on me. Oh, that's Buddy. So I'm like, I instantly get tell dude come outside now. Tell dude grab his gun. Come on, we gonna do this like the Wild Wild West. My baby mama standing at the back gate looking, shaking her head. So go ahead and go get dude. I know that's him. Man, I called his name. Hey, man, come on outside. So I get to banging on all the windows around the house. Come on, fam. Come out. Like, she ended up calling the police. I left. Boom. I had forgot my phone and my charger. I had it plugged up outside on the house You know what I'm saying? To the neighbors next door. So I wait like 30, 40 minutes. I go back over there. They like, hey, man, the police just came over here searching heavy looking for you. They like, boy, you better go. So I grab my stuff and leave. So my daughter had to be about 1.5 years. She had another friend over there. And then her oldest daughter, you know what I'm saying, was in the house. And dude, and my baby mama. So her friend called my phone like, man, Corey, don't do nothing stupid. Man, you know your baby here. Ooh. I say, yeah, but dude want to sit up here and threaten my life and woof all this crazy talk. Come on, man, I don't take threats. So, you know, I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting. So I go back over there. Go back over there on the block, all black.
So you just a hothead.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I go back over there, mask, gloves, gun. I'm in some tall bushes across the street from where we were staying at. And this is crazy. As I'm sitting in the bushes waiting, I ended up falling asleep in this tall grass.
Wow.
I had my bike in the back of the grass. So when I wake up, it had to be about 5:30 in the morning. So my first mind, like, Corey, man, just leave, man.
Yeah.
You know, go and put this up. So I was staying in an abandoned house at the time that was owned by somebody.
Yeah.
And so I go back over there. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. So I get back up. It had to be about 6:30.
Yep.
So my first thought, I'm going to go mess this car up. I'm going to get dude outside. I'm going to blow his head off, and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
That was my only train of thought.
Right.
As I ride down the block, I got my knife and my gun on me. I don't see the car. I see a couple Gary police cars riding down 49. So I'm sitting back. I want to go kick this door in.
Right.
Because I want to get to dude.
Right.
Because, like, you just threatened to kill me. But my baby mama here and both of her kids and somebody else. So I'm thinking, home invasion, kick door, breaking and entering. I'm thinking of all the charges.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then if I kill dude, so I'm like, nah, okay. So I leave. So at that point, that's when I called you. Yeah. And I told you what I was on the night before.
Yeah.
You're like, man, where you at? I'm like, man, I'm over here by Pittman Park. So you're like, man, stay right there. I'm finna come. So you came, and this wasn't nothing but an act of God, because you came and you immediately came to my rescue. You got to talking with me and rapping with me. And you was just trying to tell me how, you know, I need to let it go, how I need to, you know, get myself right with God, you know, and you said a whole lot. And you had this black suit on. You had the black shades, like I still to this day, you was looking like one of the brothers from Men in Black, Joe, and my mama. You all black, and you sitting up there talking to me. And you said, Corey, it's your time. Either you going to choose life or you going to choose death.
Wow.
And I remember I broke down in tears. And I was so hurt because part of me still wanted to go over here and prove a point and kill this dude. Yeah. And the other part was like, no, Corey, go with him to church. Let this go. And I came with you to church. That was when we was at Faith Temple of Christ.
Yeah.
I became a member. I got baptized that same day.
Yeah. Yeah.
After church, you dropped me off back to my little abandoned house I was staying at. And you just told me, like, Corey, it's going to be okay, man. Just hold, you know what I'm saying? Hang in there, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just keep pressing forward, you know, keep, you know what I'm saying? Come and keep getting God's word, you know what I'm saying? And so the very next day after my baptism, I'm at the gas station on Georgia, and I'm coming out the gas station. I got my cup of coffee, pack of squares. I got my blunts. I got my little jab of weed. I'm finna go get my day started. I'm finna go on the block, roll up, and I'm finna wait for my phone to ring.
Right.
This van pulled up. So older guy hop out. He got paint on his clothes. I'm sitting back like, oh, I don't know. I guess, buddy fix on crib.
Right.
I'm getting ready to leave and get on my bike. The man walk up to me and touch my shoulders and say, young man, the devil is trying to take you out by any means necessary.
Wow.
The Spirit of the Lord put that on my heart for me to tell you that this morning. I get up off my bike and I back away from him. I look at him up and down. I say, man, who
right,
you?
Right.
I say, how the you know what's going on with me?
Right.
He say, young man, he say, I don't know your situation. He say, I don't know what all it is you're going through. But whatever it is you thinking about doing or whatever it is you getting ready to do, it ain't a good look for you. And the Lord's something here to talk to you.
Wow.
I broke down in tears and I was just like, wow, like just 2 nights ago, I was trying to commit a crime. I go to church, get baptized yesterday. The day after my baptism, this guy come who I don't even know, never seen him a day in my life in this neighborhood, come to tell me that the devil trying to take me out by any means necessary.
Right.
And so when the man told me where he stayed at, him and his wife own a daycare on 49th and Virginia.
Yep.
This man's name is Pastor Epi.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me God sent a pastor my way to give me a warning / message, and he wasn't even dressed like a pastor?
Right.
I said, this can't be happening.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is God trying to save my life.
Yep.
Here it is. So it's like, for the Lord to take time out to send somebody my way to give me a warning and a message.
Yeah.
This ain't no coincidence.
No.
This ain't no luck.
No.
Like, how can people in their right mind sit up and say, God is not real or the Lord is not real? This is actual proof.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. I wasn't high. I wasn't off all type of pills and drugs. I wasn't somewhere where I just imagined all of this.
Right.
Like, God really got something for me.
Yeah.
And he reached out.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Let me fall back off of this.
Right.
I'd rather be alive and free than sitting up here in somebody's penitentiary wasting the rest of my life for trying to be tough and prove a point.
Wow. Man, see, this is, as you was explaining your entire testimony, man, it becomes more and more real the more times I hear it. And I know your life story. We've talked on so many occasions and different things, but I tell you, man, you've come a long way. You come a long way. But you know that I've come a long way as well. You remember when, and you can tell, where I was in my life at the time we met. You knew. And so there is a change. There's a difference that happened in my life. I'm not perfect by any stretch, but where I am now versus back then, I'm definitely not back then where I am now. And so, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Life Show. My name is Tyrone Brown Jr. And, of course, I'm here interviewing my special guest, my little brother, man, Corey Barrett. And he is giving his all-out testimony. A lot of maybe some of the content that he's sharing may or may not be on the edited edition, but still, you won't get the full story because there's going to be a point in time where he's going to be able to tell his story to the world in person, in a room of thousands of people. I really believe that, Corey, because I believe that God is giving you influence in a time such as this. Matter of fact, God saved your life so that now you can influence the lives of others that have gone through a lot of the same similar things that you have experienced. You sat up here up until now and have given you all your whole testimony with a no holds barred attitude. You talked about your mother was strung out on drugs. That's why you had to go and live with your grandparents. And then how you got mixed up in a life of gangs and selling drugs and all kinds of topsy-turvy lifestyle. And now here it is. God has saved your life from death and then from being incarcerated from something that you chose that I just ain't gonna go through with this. And so now, at the point where you are, or from the point that you were that day, where have you come to this point? Where are you as far as mentally and as far as your heart? What where you are now?
Well, as far as my heart goes, my heart was cold for a long time.
Yeah.
Because of the hurt that I experienced from my family.
Right.
And then certain things that I went through in the streets, I just had a I don't care or I don't give a attitude, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're in the streets, it's like you can have a heart, but you really can't have a heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people will walk over you. People are, you know what I'm saying? So, and then, I always felt like I had to prove myself because I'm not a big dude. You know what I'm saying? So if I gotta act crazy, I'm gonna act crazy.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna leave me alone one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like I also know that for every action, there's a reaction.
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful of that if you want to live and live right.
Yeah.
It's too many brothers out here dying. Over there off 79th, man, I say my area has lost a good 25 to 30 some guys, and the majority of them all got killed.
Wow.
So to witness death at an early age and see people in caskets that just ain't coming back, and these is people that you used to look up to, or you used to sit back and be like, man, I want to be like him, or man, I want to do what he do, or
I want to hang out with him.
To see so many brothers in
stretched
caskets,
out,
it really did something to me.
Yeah.
And it's like all I can say is I kept my faith in God no matter what.
Yeah.
I stayed in prayer, and God has watched over me. God has protected me.
Yeah.
And so now my mental state, I can't think how I thought back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I have to mature.
Yeah.
I have to mature the right way because I have kids. I have a son. I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't think like how I used to think when I was in my 20s, even though sometimes I want to go back that route.
Yeah.
But it's like, what position, if I make the wrong move or the wrong step now, how is that going to affect my son and my daughter?
I agree.
How can I raise my kids when I'm sitting in somebody's joint doing a 10, 20-year bid?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not all about proving yourself. It's not all about trying to show this person, oh, you ain't gonna play me like this, or you ain't gonna do this. You got to pick which battle is which to fight.
Right.
You know, it don't make you no punk to sit back and walk away from something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest things that I had to learn was it's okay to walk away.
Yeah.
I can let, y'all could talk and y'all could say, oh, he got whooped or he did this or this happened to him. But guess what? I'm still living.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers is not here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I got my freedom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I might not be exactly where I want to be at in life right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But every day that I get to wake up is a day for a new start.
Yes, sir.
Another chance.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm determined to get in a positive place in my life where I can be successful and I could reach out and reach people and, help people, you know what I'm saying, give back. I've always had a heart as far as giving back or giving to the less fortunate, you know what I'm saying? Sure. I always did that, so because even when I wasn't homeless and I had a place to stay, I still looked out. Yeah. But even when I was homeless and I didn't have nowhere to stay, I still gave. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it says in the Bible that whatever you do for the least of these brothers of mine, you also, you know what I'm saying, do unto me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I always keep that in my head because I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to ride the L's all night. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth from one end to the, you know what I'm saying, to another. I know what it's like to sleep outside up under porches, sleeping in abandoned cars because you ain't got nowhere to go for the night. You know what I'm saying? I know what all that is like. Yeah. And, for me to still be here today, life is a blessing. A lot of people take life for granted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And people just don't care. Like, I don't know what it is about this, you know what I'm saying, young generation growing up, but they gonna find out a lot of things the hard way. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's so many young brothers getting locked up doing the rest of their life. Yeah. In the joint. All because of what? Because you want to prove a point and be tough. Oh, I'm a hitter, I'm a goon. It ain't about that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's about having a family, working a job. You know what I'm saying? Coming home, you ain't got to look over your shoulder. You ain't got to worry about, is these group of guys going to set you up because, you know what I'm saying, you selling a little weed or you selling a little dope and you getting some money. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about the police. You know what I'm saying? Raiding, you know what I'm saying? Running in your crib. You know what I'm saying? It feels good. I mean, I've hustled in these streets many, many times. Yeah. I've made a lot of money and I done fell off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But what's that old saying that they say all good things must come to an end? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Well, I made a lot of illegal money, you know what I'm saying? Went to jail, but I had some times where I made a lot of illegal money and I didn't go to jail. Right. But that wasn't God's plan for me. Yeah. God just, I wanted it so bad, God was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let you dibble and dabble over here. Right. You'll be back to me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I just thank God that, I played my part in the streets. I did what I had to do. I took some L's here and there. So what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a man at the end of the day, and I'm still living. Definitely. I'm not going to let nobody's opinions dictate my life or dictate my moves and my steps and what I should do. No. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is my life now, and I'm going to take control of my life to the fullest and do it the right way this time. Absolutely. I fully agree. Ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here. We're having a full, all-out interview with my good brother, my young brother, Corey Barrett. And I hope that you guys are tuned into this interview. I hope that you're watching. I hope that you're listening. I hope that you're sharing it
with someone else so that someone else can hear this testimony wherever they are today. And it's not just going to be seen, but it is also going to be heard. That's why we're doing an edited edition. But at the same time, Corey, I want you to be able to talk to the youth that are out there. I want you to be able to give them some wisdom from where you came from, and give them some direction as far as where you've come from and where you are now. Can you please speak to the youth out here and anybody that may have some unbelief in their heart?
Man, I would just say, for one, don't believe everything you hear. You know, a lot of people out here saying God ain't real. If you've been listening, or if you tuned in to my testimony, God is very much real. The Lord is real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And find God for yourself. Don't listen to what somebody else tells you, trying to control your mind and, have you doing, what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Find out for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And do your own research and your own learning. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy life, live. The streets is watered down. You know what I'm saying? Snitching is cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to run around here shooting. Ain't nobody shooting the fair ones no more, having fist fights. I remember back in the 90s where we used to fight, and it 5 on 10 or 10 on 20, and everybody fighting. Yeah, we had sticks, might have had some poles, a couple bats, whatever, but it wasn't no guns like that, right, unless it was really serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, man, the streets ain't what it is. Guys, I mean, your own homies are backdoor you now. You know what I'm saying? For a little bit of change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they'll be working with your ops and get you killed.
Yeah.
Like guys you done grew up with. That's crazy. Like, so why even have, you know what I'm saying, to live that life? If you young and you ain't got no felonies, keep it that way. Secure you a legal bag out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you could sit back and make 50 to 75,000 a year.
Yeah.
While you in your early 20s, stack your bread up, get your own crib, get you a business, or you know what I'm saying? You got to put you a plan in motion. Yeah. But most importantly, keep God first.
Yeah.
You keep God first in your life, and God gonna start opening doors for you. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna look up like, wow, man, I remember I prayed for this.
Yeah.
And now look at this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Being manifested and coming true. You know what I'm saying? Coming into fruition. You know what I'm saying? Have you a family, man. You know, if you got you a solid woman, y'all go ahead and y'all stack y'all some bread up. Start taking trips. Life is more than Chicago and Indiana. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go see the world. Start a family. Get married. Do things God's way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I keep stressing doing things God's way because I didn't do things God's way. I did things my own way. But at the same time, I faced a lot of karma.
Yeah.
But my karma didn't come in the form of death or life in jail.
Yeah.
I almost went to jail for a long time.
Yeah.
If I would have tried to prove a point to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And here's the most ironic thing out of all of this. The guy that my baby mama left me for, her ex, the one that I was finna kill, this dude left my baby mama for a whole nother woman.
Yeah.
And they're not even together now.
Right.
So, and me and him have had several spats after that last situation. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. If I would have did that, my baby mama, of course, was going to ride with him, and she would have snitched on me. So now I would have been in somebody's penitentiary doing 30, 40, 50 years right now. And then this dude then left her for a whole nother woman.
Yeah.
And I would have still been rotten sitting in the prison, like, wow.
And can't see none of your babies.
And can't see the kids or nothing.
Yep.
You know, then, you know, I eventually probably would have found out, and then it would have been like, wow. And my baby mama literally would have snitched on me if I would have hurt her dude. So, like, it's just crazy how when you fall back off of situations and let the situations play out on its own, you know, you start to see more. You start to see things, and you know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, I thank God for Pastor Epi. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying, that one morning when he came, you know, and gave me that message. And that really, and when and to find out that he was a pastor, and he got an add-on in the back of his house where he holds Sunday services that still to this day. And I had to come and give my testimony there at his church. You know, like, I thank you. I thank the Lord for you. You know, definitely. But, you know, even if you young and you got felonies, it's not over with for you. No. You know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing. I got a lot of felonies. And I might not be able to get a government job right now, but I can work. And that's all that it's about. You know, don't let your felonies speak for you. You know what I'm saying? You speak for yourself. I made some mistakes. I caught a couple cases, but that was then. I'm trying to change my life around now. All I need is an opportunity and a fresh start. You know, and once you tell, you know, a hiring manager that, you know, and you being real and honest, they ain't got no choice but to, all right, you know, we're going to give you a chance to see what you do. You know what I'm saying?
And I forgot, Corey, I forgot even the part that even after that, God let you come back in contact with your father. And I mean, that's a blessing, man. You gotta tell that story. I forgot all about it, and God just reminded me. You gotta tell the story, man. You got
Okay. When me and my baby mama was still together, this had to be 2011, because I was 30 years old. I used to do my little comedy thing on Facebook. I just used to act a fool, have everybody laughing and whatnot on Facebook, man. Me and my guy Fonzo, man. Shout out to my guy Fonz, man. Real cool dude, solid brother, man. I got a inbox from my sister on my father's side, and she gave me an inbox and was like, I have reason to believe. No, she was like, is your mother's name Rowena Barrett? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, I have reason to believe that Mr. Calvin Wilson is your father, whom you have never met. And I'm looking at the message. I say, whoa.
And when was this? What year was this?
This was 2011. I want to say, 2011. And so then, you know what I'm saying, we got to going back and forth, and I gave her my number, and so she ended up giving my dad my number. And so I called my sister. I said, sis, I said, man, you won't believe this. She like, what? I say, guess who just reached out to me? She who? I said, man, you know our father's still living?
Wow.
She said, what? I said, yeah. My sister on my dad's side just inboxed me just a minute ago and said, woo, woo, woo. So me and my sister had caught the mega bus from Chicago to Cleveland, Ohio. My dad was staying in Cleveland. And I was nervous a little bit. All these years growing up, I hated my father. And I used to talk down on him like, man, if I ever see my dad, I'd spit in his face, I'd slap him, I'd do this, I'd do that, because I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? But as I was on that bus ride and I was thinking, I said, man, you gotta let this go.
Yeah.
Man, what's done is done. You or your father can't nobody go back in the past and change nothing.
Right.
So for your father to reach back out to you, take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Accept it. You know, forgive that man. You know, and which that's in the Bible.
Yeah.
It says, if you don't forgive others for their trespasses, neither will I forgive you in front of my Father, which is in heaven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you always got to forgive.
Yeah.
You know, even though it hurts certain things that people do to us, you still got to forgive, because if you don't, you're going to hell. And that's not someplace I want to go. I don't know how it's like. I read that book by Mary Kay Baxter, A Divine Revelation of Hell, and I tell you, the vividness in that book, oh no, hell is not a place I even want to know.
Well, you know, I don't think you're going to hell, but I think you suffer from that unforgiveness. You suffer physically, you suffer mentally from unforgiveness. Unforgiveness, it kills you. It's not so much that God does not forgive you, it's just that you can't forgive yourself. And so you begin to have a tax on your body. But I get what you're saying, you know, and then here it is after you went to Cleveland and seen your dad. What was the relationship like?
Oh man, we was cool in the fan. Like I hugged my dad as soon as I met him.
Yeah.
And I sat back and I said, Dad, I love you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And me and my sister, and I got two other, well, I have 5 sisters on my dad's side, but only 2 of them were semi-receptive, like me and my sister. So I think it was me, Crystal, Davina, and who else? And there was another one, because when my father had passed away, he only left 4 of us money from his insurance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? From his will. And all 4 of us took a portion of that to bury him.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? To bury him. And then we kept the rest.
Now, what year did your dad pass away?
He passed away in October 2013.
So you were able to meet him, to get or establish a relationship with him for about 2 years.
And we talked, like, if not every day, every other day. Like, we talked a lot on the regular. And my dad, by him having all girls, I was his only boy. Yeah. So he was real geeked. Yeah. And every time he would talk to my sister, he would bring me up. Yeah. And he made my sister feel some type of way. So, and my sister told me, she said, you know, I talked to him, and you know, all he want to talk about is you. He don't ask me how I'm doing, how my kids doing. All he say, hey, you talk to Corey? Talk to your brother? Hey. So I had to tell him, I said, Dad, and my dad's stubborn, so I see where I get my stubbornness from. Yeah. But I said, Dad, he's like, what? He's like, what's up, son? I said, hey, man, you know you got a daughter who you have never met either, right? Right. And you know she feels some type of way because you keep on talking about me. Yeah. You don't, I said, Dad, you can't do that. Yeah. I said, I know I'm your only boy, and you geeked about having a son. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. But you have to make her feel like like, okay, he's talking to me. Like she has kids. Right. She like ask her about her life. Right. Like, you know, hey, so what's been going on with you? How have things been in your life? Talk to her about how she's been growing up. Yeah. Ask her questions. Ask about how her kids, how her relationship is with her husband. Right. Make her feel important. Yeah. Like, don't always talk about me. Yeah. She is really feeling some type of way. Right. And she's kind of hurt. Right. So, like, you got to fix this. Yeah. Okay, I get it. okay.
Yeah.
Well, I talk with her and woo woo. I say, yeah, like, it's cool. If you want to know how I'm doing, call my phone. But don't make my sister feel some type of way, because me and her talk the most out of everybody.
Right.
I'm gonna get it from her end. So hey, you know what I'm saying? But he had so much knowledge.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
He was very smart.
Yeah.
He made his mistakes. He talked about our mother and, things that she had, went through, things that she was into. And, he found out that about me. He didn't want to be bothered with her anymore. Yeah. He didn't want to have anything to do, and he kind of chose to separate himself, and live his life. But he always knew that she had a son, but he didn't
know if it was his.
He didn't know. Nah, it wasn't so much that he didn't know that it was his. He just, like, he made a decision for whatever reason to stay gone. Okay. Because him and my mother didn't mix. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And so he just chose to, go a separate route, whatever. But he always knew, you know what I'm saying, that she had a boy, and he found out, my name and whatnot. But
wow.
When he reached out to me and I told him, because he kind of got salty with my other sisters because they didn't receive him, and they called him Calvin. They didn't call him Dad.
Okay.
Because they like, well, how can I call him Dad when he was never a dad to me?
Right.
And which a woman's hurt
is much deeper.
I was just going to say that. It's much deeper when they're hurt from an absentee father.
Sure.
They have so much pain in them. And so I tried to break it down to him, and I said, look, true enough, granted, I'm not taking how y'all feel away.
Right.
Y'all have a right to feel that way. But all I'm saying is, he is trying to make amends with us.
Right.
Now, better late than never.
Yeah.
So, he wasn't in none of our lives.
Yeah.
But he's in our lives now trying to make amends.
Sure.
So why not be receptive and just give him that much respect?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them felt like F him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And okay, when my father died, me and my other three sisters were talking about giving another one of our sisters or two more of our sisters some money out of our share, you know what I'm saying, from what Dad gave us. Me, I didn't do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because my dad told me that he went to Milwaukee to see his daughters, and somehow along his stay over there, they got into it, and y'all put my dad out at 2 a.m.
Wow.
My dad had a pacemaker in his heart.
Yeah.
So y'all put my father out at 2 a.m. and let this man walk down the street along a highway where he was walking down the street trying to hitchhike and find a way back to Cleveland.
Wow.
So now, don't get me wrong, I forgive my sisters for what they did.
Yeah.
But when my dad told me that, I called my sister and I talked to my sister and I talked to my other sister, Davina. I said, man, look, the news that I just found out about my father, y'all got into it and y'all put this man out at 2 a.m. How could you do something like that? So if somebody would have tried to rob him and kill him, or if he was to get hit by a car and die, his blood would have been on y'all. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't do people like that. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, y'all got into it. If you know what I'm saying, if y'all didn't want him to stay there no longer for the visit, okay, Dad, look, well, we gonna drop this right now, out of respect because you is, my father. And how about this? We'll just find a way for you to get back home tomorrow or the next day or, however, what I'm saying? That would have been a more mature approach.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So when he died, and they was like, well, Dad left us for, some money from his insurance. I wanted to take something out and give it to such and such and such and such. I told him, hell no, I ain't giving up nothing.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm keeping my part because why should I give somebody something and they put my father out?
Yeah.
Like, I thank God that didn't nothing happen to him, but like, no, like, how heartless are you? Like, that's your dad.
Yeah.
Like, regardless to the fact him being in your life or not, he came from Cleveland to Milwaukee to see y'all. So whatever transpired, whatever argument transpired between y'all, you should have just been respectful enough to put it to the side and say, look, you know what? We're going to continue this, a later day, or we just going to drop this, and we'll help you get home or you got to go, whatever. So, but
wow,
it was a blessing. And I thank God that I was just able to have him in my life for those 2 years.
Yeah.
So I finally have closure now of who my father was.
Yeah.
And, my father he was a very smart man. He was funny in his own way.
Yeah.
He was stubborn.
Right.
Like, it was just certain things that he just wouldn't bend on. And you just be like, okay, yeah, you stubborn. I see where I get it from. You know what I'm saying? But
well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Life Show. My name is Tyrone Brown Jr. Look, this has been another Life Show. And also, I want to shout out Fox Glen Marketing. Fox Glen Marketing, get them right now for all of your videography and video casting needs. Get them right now. And so, look, we're getting ready to end this this interview, but I just want to say thank you to all of you that are tuned in, all of you that are listening, but most importantly, thank you, Corey, for coming on, man, and doing this. This is probably 7 years later than it was supposed to be, but at least we got it done. So
thank you.
Thank you, man. But again, look, ladies and gentlemen, look, stay tuned. The Life Show got more stuff coming up, and you definitely don't want to miss. Look, go on Facebook. Go on Facebook right now. Get you a Life Show t-shirt, Life Show hoodie, Life Show gear, Life Show coffee mug, whatever. Get your Life Show gear right now. Even got bags for women, socks and leggings and all that good stuff. But get your Life Show gear. All right, because you won't want to be a part of this movement because we ain't going nowhere but up. All right, listen to what I'm telling you. All right, so again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tyrone Brown Jr. and my special guest, my little brother, Corey Barrett. Until next time, look, be well, stay safe, and always, always keep God first. Peace.